Okay, this one I have not read yet. Like, I read the book part, haven't read the Horrorland part yet. So, this is about where my like background stories about the books kind of stops because I didn't myself finish the series yet. So this is Goosebumps Horrorland, Doctor Maniac versus Robby Schwartz by RL Stine, and it's book 5 in the Horrorland series. When you hop into the first page, there's a poster of Horrorland. Says Werewolf Village. Enjoy a hair-raising hike in Wolfsbane Forest. Go wild at the all-new Werewolf Petting Zoo. And last but not least, don't miss our sunrise special. Werewolves eat fur free. Spend one day at Horrorland and you'll never be the same. Enter horrorland.com. I'm surprised that on the back of that page it did not have the same poster crumpled up with the thick handwritten black letters Escape Horrorland like all the other ones did. There's a One Day at Horrorland on DVD available, just so you all know, if anyone's interested. So, Dr. Maniac versus Robby Schwartz. Chapter 1. Ouch. I swatted a mosquito on my neck. Too late. I could feel a trickle of warm blood under my fingers. My hiking boots sank into the muddy ground. I heard a rustling sound in the bushes, probably a killer coyote getting ready to bite my throat out. How much do I enjoy these family camping trips? How much would I like to have all my teeth pulled out by a crazed orangutan with rusty pliers? Robby, try to keep up, my dad called as he led the way along the trail. Yeah, Robby, my brother Sam shouted, try to keep up. He hates camping too, but he pretends he likes it. That's because he's the middle kid, so he has to try harder. Stop copying Dad, I shouted. Stop copying Dad, Sam repeated like a stupid parrot. Give me a break, I moaned. Give me a break, Sam echoed. Give me a break, my sister Taylor whined. Mom and Dad laughed. She's 7. They think everything Taylor does is the cutest. They even laugh when she burps. When Sam and I have a burping contest at the dinner table, Mom always gets angry and makes us stop. How fair is that? Whoa! I let out a cry as my foot caught in a fallen tree limb. I lost my balance, stumbled, and fell into the mud. My backpack landed hard on top of me. I heard Sam and Taylor laugh. It isn't funny, Mom said. She says that a lot. She's the only one in our family who isn't a total joker. Sure it's funny, Sam said. Robby is a superklutz. Superklutz, superklutz, Taylor chanted. She did a crazy dance around Mom and Dad. Dad set down the tent and helped pull me to my feet. Hey, a new superhero for your comic strip, he said. Superklutz. He trips and falls on the bad guys. I rolled my eyes. Ha ha, I said. See me laughing? How funny you are? Not. My family always gives me lame ideas for my comic strip. I just ignore them. They don't have a clue how serious I am about my strip. Dad tugged my backpack onto my shoulders. Then he rubbed his hand through my hair and messed it up. My hair is light brown, almost blonde, and I wear it long and wild. I just sweep it back with my hand. I never brush it. I have a lot of hair. It doesn't even fit under a baseball cap. I think that's why Dad is always messing it up, because he's as bald as a bowling ball. A few weeks ago, I drew a comic character for my strip who looked like Dad. I called him Pinkhead. I never showed that one to Dad. He's kind of sensitive about having a big pink egg for a head. I'm the only one who's blonde and pale in my family. Sam and Taylor both have raven black hair and deep, dark eyes like Mom. They're both short, and Sam is a clubster. He hates it when I poke his belly and tell him it's just baby fat. The sun slid behind some clouds. The woods grew darker. Dad pointed up ahead. Let's set up camp by those tall trees, he said. There's grass there. It should be less muddy. I brushed a swarm of gnats out of my face. What's the point of gnats anyway? I mean, do we really need them? I don't think so. I wonder that myself. We found a nice clear space under the trees. Then we set to work putting up the 2 tents. Mom and Dad started to unpack the sleeping bags. Dad took a long drink from a water bottle. Then he spit a gusher of water at me. I ducked out of the way. Nice try, I shouted. Mom gave Dad a shove. Norman, give Robby a break. Do it again, Dad, Sam shouted. Dad laughed. Hey, Robby, who taught you to do the perfect water spit? I did, right? The Spritz Master. I rolled my eyes. Why can't anyone in this family ever be serious? Mom asked. I pulled out my laptop and sat down on my backpack. I balanced it on my knees and booted it up. After a few minutes, I called to Dad. I'm trying to upload my comic strip, but there's no network out here. How am I supposed to get online? Why don't you try to enjoy the woods instead? Mom asked. This is a camping trip. Put that away. I groaned. It's so boring out here. Nothing but nature, nature, nature. Dad grinned at me. Your mom and I like nature. Fresh air, the great outdoors. You're both weird, I said. He pointed to the trees. You promised not to grumble, remember? The sun is going down. Go help your brother gather firewood. I grumbled some more, then I put away the laptop and trudged into the woods to help Sam. I really wanted to work on my new comic strip. I've been drawing comics since I was 7, but my new supervillain is my best one ever, Dr. Maniac, the totally mental maniac of mayhem. Awesome, right? I tripped again and banged my shoulder against a tree trunk. Leaves shook and shivered above my head. A chipmunk stood up and stared at me. Then it scurried into the woods. Dr. Maniac versus Chipmunk Boy. That might work. Dr. Maniac forces a boy to eat a poisoned acorn and he grows into a giant chipmunk. Dr. Maniac just has to turn thousands of boys into chipmunks. I can't help it. I get these great story ideas everywhere I go, even in the woods. I stopped and glanced around. Where was the path? I was walking over a thick blanket of sticks and dead leaves. The tall trees blocked out the sun. How far had I walked? I had a terrible sense of direction. I get lost in my own bedroom. Hey, Sam? I cupped my hands around my mouth and shouted, Sam, are you here? No answer. Hey, Sam, I shouted louder. Where are you? A bird cawed loudly somewhere in the forest. Then I heard footsteps behind me. I spun around and gasped as a figure stepped out from behind the trees. No, it can't be, I stammered. You're not real. I made you up. A grin spread over Dr. Maniac's face. Yes, Dr. Maniac, the comic villain I created. He walked up to me with that crazy grin on his face. He brushed back his leopard skin cape. I'll show you how real I am, he shouted. Eat this dead squirrel. He raised his yellow-gloved hands. He held a decaying dead squirrel. Its eyes had sunk deep into its head. Patches of fur had fallen off its back. Eat it, Dr. Maniac shouted. I tried to move away, but I backed right into a wide tree trunk. You're crazy, I cried. Dr. Maniac shook his head. I'm not crazy. I'm a maniac. He bumped me with his chest. It had a big gold M on it. Now eat it, he demanded. Eat it! And he shoved the putrid dead squirrel into my face. Chapter 2. I hope I didn't confuse you. That last chapter was just a comic strip I drew. Sam and I were sitting in the back of our SUV. We hadn't gone camping yet. We were on our way. Dad was driving the whole family to the woods. I was showing Sam my newest Dr. Maniac strip on my laptop. What do you think? I asked. The dead squirrel thing is good, right? Do you like it when Dr. Maniac shoves the disgusting squirrel corpse right in my face? Yeah, pretty cool, Sam said, staring at the screen. But one thing I don't get. Who's the chubby little shrimp who goes camping with our family? That's you, I said. Sam punched my arm. No way I look like that, he said. Ever look in a mirror? I said. Ever take drawing lessons? He shot back. I'm almost as tall as you are. Trees whirred past us as Dad roared down the highway. He couldn't wait to get there. Mom and Dad love camping, and they drag us with them almost every weekend. The only thing I like about camping is that it gives me new ideas for my Dr. Maniac strip. Farms with grassy green fields rolled past. Taylor sat in the middle seat, clapping her hands to music from the radio. Mom kept pointing out every cow and horse, but no one paid any attention. Sam read my comic strip again. What if you go picking up firewood in the woods today and Dr. Maniac really does show up? He asked. Robby, Mom called from the front seat, I hope you'll put that laptop away and help us out this time. You always make Sam and Taylor do all the work. Yeah, join the family for once, Taylor said. She turned around and stuck her tongue out at me. Her tongue was bright purple from the candy she was eating. Attack of the Purple Tongue. Good name for a comic, I thought. What if a boy's at the dentist's office? The dentist messes up and the boy's tongue falls out. The tongue starts to grow. It's very angry. It doesn't like being outside the mouth. The tongue attacks. Look at those sheep, Mom said, pointing out her window. Are you two boys enjoying the beautiful scenery? Sam, what do you think I should do next? I asked. Should I eat the disgusting gross squirrel or should I try to escape? I can't decide which is cooler. Maybe both, Sam replied. He's never any help. He doesn't like writing stories. He's a total game freak. He spends hour after hour playing battle chess. What a weirdo. I like Dr. Maniac's costume, Sam says. He dresses like a total maniac. Red and blue tights with a gold M on his chest, yellow gloves, white boots with yellow feathers all over them, and a leopard skin cape? That's insane. Yeah, he's a crazed nutcase, I said. You're the nutcase, Taylor chimed in. Why don't you draw a comic called Robby Schwartz, the maniac older geek brother? I reached over the seat and popped her gently on the head. Maniac, she screamed. Can't we talk about anything else? Mom said. Look at those interesting shrubs over there. Interesting shrubs? Sam and I burst out laughing. Good one, Mom, I said. Dad turned off the highway. We bounced along the gravel road until we came to a small muddy parking lot. I stepped out the door in bright sunlight. The air smelled fresh and sweet. 2 big red hawks glided round and round a grove of tall evergreen trees. I packed my laptop carefully into my backpack. Taylor jumped out of the car. She ran up to me and stomped down hard on my sneaker. Ow, why'd you do that? I asked. She shrugged. No reason. I limped to the back of the SUV. Time to unload our stuff. We always take 2 tents, sleeping bags, cooking equipment, and lots of sweaters and extra clothes. We loaded up like pack animals and lunged everything into the woods. Not my favorite part of camping. Actually, I don't have a favorite part of camping, but what can you do when your parents are total outdoor freaks? We always follow the same dirt path through the trees, and after about 20 minutes we come to a nice grassy clearing. Time to set up the tents and build a fire before the sun went down. I guess you want me to go find firewood, I said to Dad once the tents were up. We all have our jobs, Dad said. Oh yeah? I said, what's Taylor's job? Being cute, Dad said. Taylor stuck her tongue out again, still purple, real cute. I set my pack with my laptop inside it down carefully at the back of my tent. Then I wandered across the tall grass to the trees to search for sticks and logs. The air grew cooler as I stepped deeper into the shade. The wind blew my long hair around my face. A black and orange butterfly fluttered in front of me, as if it were leading the way. Wow, I thought, here I am, alone in the woods, picking up firewood, just like in my comic. This is the exact scene where I call to Sam and he doesn't answer, and then Dr. Maniac pops out from behind the trees. And suddenly I heard the bushes rustle. The scrape of footsteps, moving toward me, fast. Dr. Maniac, I gasped. Chapter 3. No, not Dr. Maniac. I stared at Sam stepping forward, his arms filled with twigs and sticks for kindling. Robby, what's your problem? He asked me. You scared me, I stammered. I pushed my hair away from my face with both hands. I thought it was Dr. Maniac, I said. You know, like in my comic strip. Sam squinted at me. Don't get weird, he said. Don't start mixing up comics and real life. My heart had been racing. It slowly returned to normal. Hey, Sam, I said, can you imagine what a messed up place this would be if superheroes and villains were real? And they were always flying around in tights and capes? We both laughed. It was kind of a funny idea. I bent down and started to pick up some twigs from the ground. Sam had his arms full. He stood over me, watching. Robby, he said, how come you made your main character a villain? Why not make him a superhero instead? I just think villains are a lot more interesting, I said. A loud crackle from the bushes behind me made me jump. The twigs flew from my hands. What was that? Sam laughed. A squirrel, probably, or a raccoon. We're in the woods, remember? Animals live in the woods? Just joking, I lied. I was trying to scare you. I bent down to pick up the sticks I dropped, and suddenly my eyes went wide and I let out a startled cry. No, I screamed. It's impossible. Chapter 4. Nice try, Sam said, but you didn't scare me. Try again. No, you don't understand, I stammered. I'm not joking. Look. A strip of cloth was caught on a tree branch. I pulled it off and held it for Sam to see. His eyes bulged. Leopard skin? He said in a whisper. Leopard skin, I said, just like Dr. Maniac's cape. That's stupid, Sam said. What's that doing here? I stuffed the strip of cloth into my jeans pocket. I don't know, I said, but I'm going to find out. I didn't tell Mom or Dad about the leopard skin cloth. They probably would think I put it there. My family's always playing jokes on each other. So sometimes it's hard to know what to believe and what not to believe. We made a big campfire and cooked dinner on it. We all roasted hot dogs except for Mom. She doesn't eat meat, so she grilled 2 soy burgers for herself. They looked kind of green and gross, but she said anything tastes good cooked on a fire, especially if you drown it in ketchup. After dinner, we goofed around. Dad told some really lame jokes. My favorite was about a boy who has a banana in his ear. Someone asks him, "Why do you have a banana in your ear?" And the boy answers, "I can't hear you. I have a banana in my ear." It's probably an old joke, but I never heard it before, and it cracked me up. Taylor tried to make up some knock-knock jokes, but they didn't make any sense. Sam and I had to beg her to stop. The moon floated low over the trees when we crawled into our tents to sleep. The night air was growing colder. Taylor, Sam, and I were jammed into one tent. I snuggled deep into my sleeping bag. I tried to pull it up over my head, but it was too short. I shut my eyes, ready for sleep. In the sleeping bag next to me, Taylor sang softly to herself. "Shut up," I whispered. "How am I supposed to fall asleep?" "You know I like to sing," she replied. "It's the only way I can go to sleep." She's such a little freak. That's not the only weird thing she does. She also sleeps with her eyes wide open. Is that disturbing or what? I rolled over and turned my back to her. Outside the tent, I heard the hoot-hoot of an owl. A gust of wind rattled the whole tent. I shut my eyes tight and tried to clear my mind, not think about anything at all. I drifted off for a short while, but something woke me up. I sat up, blinking. My heart was pounding. Someone was walking outside the tent. I heard a low cough, the soft thud of footsteps on the ground. Did I hear someone calling my name? With a shiver, I pulled myself out of the sleeping bag. Sam and Taylor were asleep. Taylor made little whistling sounds with each breath. I climbed to my knees and poked my head out of the tent. The pale yellow moon glowed high in the sky. A dark line of clouds, like a snake, cut it in half. Clouds covered the stars. The air felt heavy and damp. The footsteps were coming from the trees. I heard a voice speaking rapidly. What was it saying? I was half asleep, not thinking clearly. I pulled on my sneakers and crept out of the tent in my pajamas. Maybe I was sleepwalking or something, I don't know, but I left our tents behind and walked across the clearing to the trees. I followed the sounds into the woods. I had to know who was there, and why he was calling my name. It has to be Dad, I suddenly realized. There was no one else camping near us. Of course, Dad. Playing one of his dumb tricks? I stopped in the shadows in front of the trees and froze when I saw a figure slithering out, moving quickly. He slid toward me. "Dad?" I called, my voice high and shrill. Then I saw the cape, the leopard skin cape, flutter in the wind. Dr. Maniac stepped into the moonlight, and he was carrying a dead squirrel. Chapter 5. "You're real?" I said. My voice came out in a choked whisper. "It's impossible." "Eat this dead squirrel," Dr. Maniac said. His eyes bugged out. He grinned from ear to ear. His voice was low, from deep in his chest. The gold M on his shirt glowed in the moonlight. "This is crazy," I said. "You don't exist. I made you up." "Eat the squirrel, Robby," he repeated. He raised the decaying squirrel in both hands. "Stop stalling. I want to see how brave you are." "Me? Brave?" I choked out. "Are you crazy?" "I'm not crazy. I'm a maniac," he boomed. "Eat it. Eat the squirrel." He shoved it into my face. Ugh! The sour smell poured into my nostrils. The squirrel fur was bristly and hard and scratched my cheeks. My stomach lurched. I started to gag. "Go ahead," Dr. Maniac said. "Show me how brave you are. Are you the brave one, or is it your brother, Sam?" "Sam? You're crazy. No way," I screamed. I staggered back, away from the sick smell, away from the hard, bristly body pressed against my skin. I rubbed my nose. I wiped my face with both hands, trying to rub away the horrible feeling of the dead creature. Then I raised my eyes to Dr. Maniac. He held the squirrel in one hand and brushed his cape back with the other. He stared hard at me, studying me. "Okay," he murmured. Okay. I guess I'm the brave one." He raised the dead squirrel to his face and chomped into its belly. Then he stood staring at me, chewing loudly, chewing the dead meat. He took another big bite. I'd like to point out, pretty much almost all of the meat that we eat is dead. Okay, He took another big bite and chewed some more. He made a loud gulp as he swallowed the rotten squirrel flesh. "Not bad," he said, "if you ignore the taste and the smell." He held it out to me. It was mostly bones now. Most of the meat had been chewed away. "Want to try some? I saved you the head, the best part." I grabbed my stomach. Ulp. I started to barf. Somehow I forced it back down. I'm going to be sick, I murmured. No time for that, Robby boy, he said. You're coming with me. He tossed the squirrel into the trees. Huh? What are you saying? I gasped. My stomach heaved. You failed the bravery test, but you're coming with me, he said. You're going to help me destroy my enemy, the Purple Rage. My mouth dropped open. Now I know you're crazy, I exclaimed. The Purple Rage is the angriest supervillain in history. He screams so hard, even his breath is deadly. Dr. Maniac shrugged his powerful shoulders. So, tell me something I don't know. Well, what can I do to help you? I asked. You'll see, Dr. Maniac said. Then he grabbed my arm and spun me around. He squeezed his strong hands over my shoulders and started to drag me away. No, let go. Let go of me, I wailed. Let go of me. Somebody help. Chapter 6. Sam squinted at the screen as he read the newest comic strip on my laptop. Cool episode, he said. Then he laughed. Robby, when Dr. Maniac grabs you, you look like a frightened geek. Our friend Brooke nodded her head. You got that right, she said. I could feel your fear, Robby. Your drawing gets better and better. It was Sunday afternoon. The three of us were upstairs in my room. We had huddled around my desk so I could show off the newest Dr. Maniac strip. Yes, you probably figured out that the adventure in the woods wasn't real. It was just another comic strip. Brooke brushed back her straight brown hair. She wears it very short with bangs across her forehead. Brooke is tiny and thin. She looks like a first grader even though she's 11, Sam's age. She has sparkly blue eyes and a little turned up nose. Kids at school call her Elf, which she hates. She lives across the street. We have all been friends since I was 4 and they were 3. Where did you get the idea for Purple Rage? She asked. I shrugged. Dunno. I guess I was in an angry mood, so I made up a new villain. I love villains. That's why I put so many of them in my comic strips. I pulled out my big sketchbook and turned to my first drawings of the Purple Rage. I always do dozens of sketches of my characters in colored pencil before I scan in my finished art. See? I held up some early sketches. At first, I made his cheeks bright red, to show how angry he was. But then I thought that maybe that wasn't enough. I flipped the page to show them the next drawings. These showed the Purple Rage in full costume, shaking a big purple-gloved fist in front of him. See, he's dressed all in purple. I said purple cape, purple tights. He's always in a total rage, so his whole face is bright red. And when he gets really mad, it turns purple. That's awesome, Sam said. He grabbed the sketchbook out of my hands. Do you have sketches of me in there? I grabbed it back. Why would I do sketches of you? I asked. I already know what you look like. I hate the way you draw me, Sam groaned. I look like a turtle. Then grow a few inches, I said, and I'll draw you like a tall turtle. Brooke didn't laugh. Short people can be superheroes too, she said. I tucked the sketchbook back onto its shelf. For sure, I said. I'll put you in the strip, Brooke. Wonder Elf. I'll draw you standing under a toadstool. I thought that was funny, but Brooke didn't laugh. Instead, she grabbed my hair with both hands and pulled as hard as she could. I let out a screech. Wonder Elf defeats the mutant from the Hair Planet, Brooke cried. She pumped her fists in the air. I tried to smooth my hair, but it didn't go down. It bounced right back up. How was your family camping trip? Brooke asked. You just got back, right? It was okay, I said. Lots of nature and stuff. Boring, Sam groaned. He sat down at my laptop and started tapping away at the keyboard. Hey, what are you doing? I asked. My computer crashes, he said. Brooke and I want to play battle chess. Fine, I said. No problem. Just use mine. Don't ask her anything. Thanks, Sam said, typing away. Brooke pulled up a chair beside him and sat down. The opening game screen appeared. Bold music and floating chess pieces, all carrying guns. Sam and Brooke have to be the only 2 kids in America who play this game. I hurried downstairs. I could see Mom and Dad through the front window. They were on their knees, planting seeds in the flower garden by the driveway. They sure love being outdoors. I walked into the kitchen and pulled a bag of nacho chips from the cabinet. I grabbed a can of Coke from the fridge and started to the den to see if any good movies were on cable. I was about to drop onto the couch when I heard a noise upstairs, a loud crash, and then a high scream of horror. Brooke's scream. The Coke can fell from my hand and rolled across the den rug. I tossed the nacho chips onto the couch and took off running. I bolted up the stairs and ran down the hall to my room. Brooke, what's wrong? I cried. What happened? Someone had slid the bedroom window wide open. The curtains were blowing out. Brooke stood by the window with both hands pressed against her face. Her eyes were wide with fright. What happened? I repeated. What was that crash? Sam, she stammered. She pointed to the open window. Robby, Sam is gone.